What's up? My name is Tony, and in this video I want to show what I'm carrying in my camera bag in 2024. If you haven't seen my last video, I did one in 2023 and I've made some pretty big changes, and so I'm excited to talk through my camera bag and some of the things that I've been carrying with me and some of the new additions that I've made to my bag this year. So I hope you enjoyed this video and let's get right into it. So starting off with the bag, I'm still rocking the same bag that I am last year. It is the Mociso, I believe that I'm saying that correct. And I like this bag because of how big it is. It's got a lot of space on the inside. It's not too bulky, but it does give me enough space to carry all the things that I need. To start, it's got this top zipper that opens up, and I really like the zipper because this is perfect for things like filters and camera charging cords and things like that. It has enough space that I can fit a microphone in here, a few filters, mist filter, and little odds and ends, things like that, some cleaning, lens cleaning equipment. So I like this pocket because of how deep it is, and it allows me to carry a few things without taking up space in my main compartment. Next, we've got this laptop compartment, which is really nice. I do like having the storage for my laptop. It's nice to have when I'm traveling with my computer. I can slide my computer into that back compartment there and zip it back up. Next, this bag actually has a side zipper here where you can actually access your camera from the side of the bag, and I know a few camera bags have this. I could do with or without the side compartment here with the zipper, but it is nice to have if you do like being able to just zip the side open and take out your camera that way. So on the top of the bag is the main compartment, and I like being able to access the main compartment from the top of the bag. Plenty of storage for my main camera that I carry with me, which I'll talk about in a second, as well as a few lenses and accessories. It's got plenty of space to carry a full-size mirrorless camera, as well as a few pretty large lenses that I keep with me on a daily basis. So nice compartment. My favorite compartment of this bag. I like the tough shell on the outside of the bag as well. It's held up pretty well for when I'm dropping my camera bag, and whether I'm on the street or it's gonna get scratched up. It has gotten scratched up. You can see my cat has kind of played with it a little bit on the front, but so far it's held up for me pretty well. A nice SD card holder as well on that top compartment, and then on the side of the bag you've also got a little buckle strap that I use for my tripod, so it's nice to be able to hook up my tripod to the side of the bag to carry with me. Oh, and I also forgot to mention on the other side, nice zipper pocket on the outside on the other side, so you can, got a few brushes in there, got a few cleaning things in there, so nice to have a extra little zipper with some extra space in there. It's plenty big enough to keep a phone or a wallet, but nice to have there as well. So the lenses that I'm carrying with me right now, I have a few. First one being the Sony 50mm FE 1.8. This is probably the most used lens in my camera bag, just because that 50mm focal length is such a versatile focal length. You can shoot pretty much anything at 50mm. If you want to learn more about this lens, then check out this video that I made specifically about this lens and why I didn't choose the crop sensor version back when I was shooting on crop sensor. So I'll link that video below. But definitely one of the most used camera lenses that I'm using in my bag currently. The next lens that I'm using is the Tamron 28-75, and I'm actually using that lens to shoot this video right now. If the 50mm is not the most used lens in my camera bag, then it's definitely the 28-75 by Tamron. It's a super nice lens. 28-75 is super versatile. I use it for street, I use it for landscapes. 75 is just tight enough to get some pretty tight shots, and then 28 is wide enough to cover just about anything that you need. Now, if you're shooting things like real estate or some things where you may need to get a little bit wider. I don't recommend using 28-75 because it's not quite wide enough for some of those commercial things, but for just everyday shooting, the 28-75 is a pretty nice focal length to have just because it covers pretty much all your needs. And lastly, the third lens that I carry with me, and unfortunately I don't have it with me right now, that is the Sigma 85mm f1.4 Art lens. This is probably my favorite lens that I have in my camera bag. I don't have it with me currently just because it is a little bigger to carry. It's got its own carrying case, so I normally only take that with me when I know that I'm going to be taking a lot of photos and I know that I'm going to use it a lot, or else I typically don't bring it just because it's another case to bring with me. But definitely my favorite lens that I use. It is the sharpest lens that I use. That f1.4 creates some pretty nice bokeh when I do take some photos with it. So if it's in the budget and you are looking for a lens, maybe to upgrade a prime lens that you have currently and you want a tighter focal length, I definitely recommend the 85 1.4. So for my cameras, I'm actually keeping a few cameras on me, and firstly I'll talk about my run and gun camera. And I say run and gun because this guy I use when I just want to get some quick video. Maybe I don't have time, or maybe I don't feel like setting up the camera that I'm shooting on now. I don't want to get the microphone ready. You know, sometimes I'll be shooting a POV and I just want to get straight into the video, make it as easy as possible. And so the first camera I keep with me is this GoPro right here. This is the GoPro 10 Black. I have gone through several GoPros. I'm a big fan of GoPros. I just love how easy they are to use. And this is my camera whenever I'm shooting my POV photography videos, or if I'm getting a quick intro. I'll even use this as kind of a vlog camera when I'm getting some quick intros for the beginning of the video or the ending of the video. I'll use this guy. Great for on-the-go stuff. If I don't want to bring my big camera with me, then I can always just bring this, and it can shoot up to 4K video. The quality is very nice. Surprisingly, the audio on these are very good. I have used this a couple of times for vlogging or using these for intros in my videos, and the audio on this is surprisingly very good. So if you do want a minimal setup for making videos or for talking to a camera, I would definitely look into one of these guys, because the audio quality on these have definitely improved from some of the earlier cameras that they came out with. So my next camera, and this was actually my main camera in my 2023 camera bag video, and that is the Sony a6000. And again, I don't actually have that camera with me currently just because I am carrying my main camera with me now, and I didn't have enough space in my camera bag. But the Sony a6000 is a camera, geez, I've had it for 4 or 5 years now, and that has been my main photography camera for a very long time. I pretty much run that camera into the ground. I did a couple weeks in Greece. I studied abroad back when I was in school, and I took that camera with me. So I've traveled with that camera, I've taken it everywhere, and still love that camera. I use it whenever I'm traveling and I don't want to carry a whole lot of gear with me just because of how small and compact it is. So definitely still a camera that I use in my rotation, but still a great camera in my opinion, even in 2024. And lastly, my newer camera. Didn't have this camera in my last camera bag video, but it is newer for this video. I've had it for a couple of months now and I love it so far, but shooting on it right now, the Sony a7 III is my main photography camera. If you've seen some of my older videos, then you know that I've been shooting on crop sensor cameras for a while. I started on the Nikon D7000, which is a Nikon crop sensor camera, and then I moved over to the Sony a6000, and I used that for a couple of years, and I finally upgraded to a full frame, which is the Sony a7 III, and that is the camera that I've been using for the majority of the things that I've been doing. One thing that I've been wanting to do is to get more into video. I've been wanting to up the quality of my videos as well well as do some projects of my own when it comes to video, and the Sony a7 III was really the camera I had in mind, as it's both a good photography camera and it's got some very good video capabilities. My favorite thing about this camera is that I'm able to do things with this camera that I haven't been able to do in the past. Using crop sensor cameras, I've always been somewhat limited in low light and shooting at lower apertures, and the quality of the pictures, while shooting during the day, they are okay. Especially at night, you get some not very sharp images, you get a lot of noise and a lot of grain. This camera is a beast when it comes to shooting in low light. I mean, this thing's got night vision goggles on. I can bump my ISO in the thousands and I'm perfectly fine. Even for video, I've taken some video when it is darker out and I haven't had any issues as far as noise and quality. So I keep a lot of accessories with me, and I'll talk about a few of them. I'm not going to talk about all of them just because there's a lot of small things that I keep with me that I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll kind of touch over some of the main things that I use on the side. So first, one thing that I use, sometimes I don't use it a whole lot, but it is nice to have, is this Sony battery grip. Now, definitely not necessary, as the Sony a7 III, the battery life is not bad. Coming from the a6000, I had to keep 3 or 4 batteries with me every time I went to go take pictures, just because of how quickly I would go through the battery life on that camera. And upgrading to the a7 III, I have not had that issue, thank goodness. The battery life is pretty good so far, but sometimes when I am out and I know that I'm going to be out for longer periods of time, I always carry this with me just in case. It's always nice to have in case I need it. Next, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos, and that is the Lume Cube panel mini light. Now, I love this thing. I've had this thing for a couple of years now. I got it for Christmas one year, I think. This was a Christmas gift, and I love this thing. I use this all the time. I use it for video. I use it for photos. It's cool for light painting. If you want to set your camera up on a tripod and then go do some cool designs, I've done that many times. I still do. I love this little light. The battery life on this thing is nuts. This thing will last for, on the lowest setting, for like 10 hours. So you could literally just set this thing up all night long and it'll still be lit up when you're awake. So you charge it USB-C, and it's got a few different settings. You've pretty much got one light. You can't change the color of the light. This is not an RGB light. It's just a kind of a single color. You can change the hue of it a little bit. So this is 5600 kelvins. So that's on the cooler side. That's about as cool as it'll go. And then it goes to 3200. So this is on the warmer side. So this is as warm as the light goes. And right now it's sitting at 40%. So this is at 1% right now, and right now this is telling me 13 hours of battery life, so that's pretty nuts. It's got this little diffuser on it, so you can always take that off, and that's what it looks like. And at 100%, this is at full brightness, so 100%. Now at 100%, it is telling me 1.2 hours. So, you know, the higher the brightness is, the quicker your battery is going to run out. But that's with anything. So typically try to keep it around 50, 30, 40, 50%. Anywhere I'm good. That'll give me 3 or 4 hours. So I love this guy. I definitely will be ordering some more of these. I know they have some different size lights, and I definitely want to get a hold of some more of these. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about any of the gear that I talked about in this video, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to help you out. For some of those accessories that I didn't talk about, like filters and charging and things like that, I'll talk about those briefly in the description. So be sure to check that out to get a more detailed list of some of the things that I carry with me. I'll also link below my 2023 camera bag video, just in case you're curious about some of the things that I've switched using and some of the things that I might have upgraded, like my camera. I will link that below, so be sure to check that video out just to see kind of the differences between last year and this year, some of the things that I'm carrying. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing. If you are interested in photography, camera gear, anything of that sort, then feel free to stick around. I'm making videos every week, so we'll see you guys in the next one.